Chapter 115. Hua Chenhuan was quite happy to receive Su Yiyan's video call invitation, but when he heard her crying, his face sank. What's wrong? Who bullied you? Then he remembered that Su Yiyan had said that she wanted to go home to see her grandfather before they parted ways. Hua Chenhuan's heart couldn't help but skip a beat. He probed. Did your grandfather say something to you? Because of me? No. When Su Yiyan saw that Hua Chenhuan had misunderstood, she hurriedly shook her head. My grandfather isn't as strict as you think. He just said that he wanted to find time to meet you. I'm fine. I'm just a little agitated. Agitated? Su Yiyan opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but suddenly stopped. She took a deep breath and said cheerfully, yes. Although I was mentally prepared before this, I knew that even if they didn't agree to our relationship, they would definitely persist until the end. But when I saw that they understood me unconditionally and supported me, I realized that I didn't care as much as I thought. Especially my grandfather. When I was young, my parents didn't have time to take care of me. Grandfather practically raised me single-handedly. Now that I can get his understanding and support, I feel a lot more relaxed. I'm very happy. Su Yiyan's words weren't false, but Hua Chenhuan still felt that there was something fishy about it. However, he didn't harp on it and insist on getting to the bottom of it. Just like when he learned from Su Yiyan's father that she already knew that he had liked her for many years. Even though he was extremely curious about how Su Yiyan knew this, he still forced himself to remain silent. He didn't want Su Yiyan to think that he was too overbearing, too autocratic, and didn't want to give her any privacy. They're very good to you. It's normal for you to care about what they think. Hua Chenhuan paused. I'm sorry. I've made things difficult for you. What nonsense are you saying? This is my choice. Besides, what's there to make things difficult for? I don't think choosing you is a difficult thing for me. Do you have so little confidence in yourself? Hua Chenhuan stared into Su Yiyan's eyes without saying a word. Su Yiyan, on the other hand, read a lot of things from it. She subconsciously said the words that were hidden in her heart. Chenhuan, if there is a way to cure your leg, do you mind? What? Hua Chenhuan's focus was obviously a little off. He faintly stared at Su Yiyan and said word by word, do you mind my leg being like this? Su Yiyan was stunned. She felt helpless and distressed. I don't mind. No matter what you become, as long as you're still Hua Chenhuan, I don't mind. However, you seem to have misunderstood. What I mean is, if there really is a way to cure your leg, are you willing to try it? Hua Chenhuan clearly saw the expectation in Su Yiyan's eyes. His heart trembled slightly and he said hoarsely, I'm willing. If possible, who would be willing to be a cripple who even needed to rely on external help to travel? Hearing these 3 words, Su Yiyan's eyes immediately turned red. I will definitely cure you. I will. I promise. Hua Chenhuan was stunned. Then, the corners of his mouth lifted into a gentle arc. He softly replied, okay. Su Yiyan was amused by his attitude of coaxing a child. She said in annoyance and amusement, you don't even know what I'm going to do. Chapter 116. Su Yiyan understood what he was implying. Instead of being comforted, she became angrier. How dare he look down on her? After she cured him, she would definitely take revenge on him for looking down on her and doubting her today. Hua Chenhuan had no idea that his stingy fiancé had already marked him down. He took the initiative to change the topic. You just said that your grandfather wants to see me? Yes, but he didn't say when he wants to see you. Do you have time recently? Hua Chenhuan was about to say that he was free any time, but he suddenly paused and said apologetically, I have something to deal with tomorrow, but I should be free the day after tomorrow. It's okay, there's no rush for now. You do your thing first. I'll talk to grandfather. Su Yiyan seemed to have thought of something and asked tentatively, are you afraid of injections? Injections? Hua Chenhuan was a little confused. Yes. Su Yiyan tried to gesture with her hand. It's about this long, and it's about this long. Hua Chenhuan was silent for a while after reading it. He said with some difficulty, I'm not afraid. Su Yiyan. Your expression doesn't say that. No, you're a mature man in your 20s, but you're actually like a child. Afraid of injections? Su Yiyan really misunderstood this matter. Hua Chenhuan wasn't afraid of injections, but he was afraid of the needle she was gesturing. It was such a long needle, wouldn't it kill him? So, this was really a beautiful misunderstanding. After hanging up, Su Yiyan's heart calmed down a little. Her eyes flashed as she looked at the newly released Encyclopedia of Acupuncture and the structure of human acupuncture points. Although she really wanted to start treating Hua Chenhuan right away, his leg needed to be accompanied by medicinal cuisine, medicinal baths, acupuncture, and even massage. Before that, she had to earn some favorability points to exchange for various kinds of Chinese medicine seeds, so that it would be convenient for her to use the medicinal cuisine and medicinal baths later. Secondly, it was her first time doing acupuncture. Would such a long and thin needle go astray? Would it hurt or bleed if the needle was crooked? When she thought of this, Su Yiyan did not have the courage to stick the needle into Hua Chenhuan's body. At least, she had to wait until she was familiar with it. But before that, Su Yiyan narrowed his eyes and took out some mature Chinese herbs from the system warehouse. He got up and walked to the old man's room. Old Master Cheng had just finished reading and was about to rest when someone knocked on the door. As soon as he opened the door, he saw his granddaughter. His eyes lit up and he smiled. "Why are you here?" "Grandfather, are you going to rest?" "I have something to discuss with you." "What is it?" "About the things we ate tonight." The next morning, when Su Yiyan went downstairs, the old man was already strolling in the courtyard. When she saw Su Yiyan coming down, she snorted unhappily and turned around to water the flowers. The beautiful dahlia became muddy and could drown at any time. Su Yiyan was dumbfounded. She turned to look at her mother and asked curiously, "What's wrong with grandfather? Didn't they have a good discussion last night? Why was he unhappy again after one night?" Cheng Xiuqin looked at her with condemnation and sighed. "Isn't it because of you?" "Because of me." Chapter 117. At first, Old Master Cheng ignored Dun Dun, but after spending some time with it, his attitude towards it changed completely. Now he liked to follow it everywhere. Su Yiyan would always bring Dun Dun home during winter and summer vacations. Every time he brought it home, Old Master Cheng would help him take care of it. Occasionally, when Old Master Cheng came over to play, he would always take it out for a walk. Yesterday, he must have been so angry that he didn't think about it. Today, when he calmed down, he began to look for the dog, only to find that his beloved dog had been given away. Old Master Cheng was angry all morning. He was even more dissatisfied with the Hua family's youngest uncle who stole his granddaughter and his beloved dog. The impression he had worked so hard to build up fell to rock bottom again. Su Yiyan realized that he had accidentally caused Hua Chenhuan trouble again. "Dear, I really didn't do it on purpose." At that time, Hua Chenhuan, who was busy confirming the progress of the plan with a few of his trusted aides, suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. Zhou Yanbai immediately noticed his strange behavior and asked with concern, "Young master, the wind is strong at the beach. Do you feel cold? Do you want me to bring you a blanket?" "No need." The chill left as quickly as it came, so Hua Chenhuan didn't take it to heart. "Are the flowers ready?" "They're all ready." They're all Miss Sue's favorite flowers, the prettiest ones. In addition, the greenhouse at the old mansion has been changed. I promise that it will all be done before Miss Sue marries here. Yu Zian couldn't help but wipe away his bitter tears. It was as if he had suddenly returned to the fear of being dominated by farming. After all, he had planted all the flowers in the old mansion's garden with his own hands. With his own hands. Hua Chenhuan didn't receive Yu Zian's angry brainwaves. At that moment, he was thinking about the proposal ring that hadn't been made yet, and the proposal plan that was almost ready. Everything was going well. Hua Chenhuan was in a good mood as she plucked off a blue rose and placed it on Dundun's head. The big pink bough was forcefully pushed to the side. As the sea breeze blew, the poor little girl was instantly blown silly by her fluttering pink princess dress. After Su Yiyan figured out why the old man was unhappy, she was about to go and coax the old man, but she was stopped by Cheng Xiuqin. "Mom." Cheng Xiuqin held Su Yiyan's hand tightly and said awkwardly, "Yan, Mom has something to tell you." "What is it?" "I don't know where Hua Qihan's family heard the news. They called me and your father this morning and said that they would personally come to apologize. Su Yiyan's eyes turned cold. Without thinking, she asked, "Is it because of grandfather?" Cheng Xiuqin was shocked. "How did you know?" When the Su family and the Hua family decided to unite by marriage, the Su family's conditions were actually slightly worse than the Hua family's. However, Hua Qihan's family was far more enthusiastic about this marriage than the Su family. The key to this was Cheng Xiuqin's family. Cheng Xiuqin's family was originally an aristocratic and scholarly family. Although they weren't as rich as the wealthy businessmen, they were far more sophisticated than ordinary families. This was especially true for Old Master Cheng's generation. Old Master Cheng and Old Madam Cheng were both academicians in the Research Institute and belonged to different departments. Chapter 118. Hua Qihan and his wife had made use of their relationship with Cheng Xiuqin to set up this marriage. They had taken a liking to the Cheng family's connections and Su Yiyan, who was liked by Old Master Cheng and the rest of the Cheng family. They had wanted to use Su Yiyan to get close to the Cheng family, and from there, get close to the big shots who were on good terms with the Cheng family. It was a pity that the couple's plan had failed in the end because of Hua Xiaofan, that idiot. It was precisely because of the Cheng family's powerful connections that Su Yiyan found it hard to believe that the Cheng family had suddenly declined in her previous life. Now that she knew that the world she lived in was just a book, and that the protagonists of this book were Hua Xiaofan and Wen Jingping, Su Yiyan understood. In the face of great luck, no matter how powerful one's connections were, they were no match for the brainless protagonist aura of these two idiots. Su Yiyan had learned about the family Hua's schemes in her previous life, but Cheng Xiuqin and the others only realized it when they suddenly received a call from Mrs. Hua this morning. It had been a long time since the incident with Hua Xiaofan. Hua Qihan and his wife had not come to apologize earlier or later. Instead, they had come right after the old master arrived. It was obvious that they had an ulterior motive. Thinking about how the two of them had been so enthusiastic about this marriage, how could they not understand? To think that I still treated her as a sister because of our friendship back when we were students. She's great. She followed her husband and son to scheme against my daughter and my family. Cheng Xiuqin's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. After her anger subsided, she felt a little relieved. Fortunately, you didn't marry Hua Xiaofan. Fortunately, Hua Xiaofan had dropped the ball before they got married. Otherwise, Su Yiyan would have been used as a raft when she got married. With Hua Xiaofeng's character, it was only a matter of time before he had an affair. Perhaps the family Hua couple would help him cover it up. After all, based on their behavior, it was very likely that they would do such a thing. The more Cheng Xiuqin thought about it, the more frightened he became. He was even more wary of Hua Chenhuan. Family Hua's youngest uncle is also a member of the family Hua. Could it be? No. Before Cheng Xiuqin could finish, Su Yiyan interrupted her. He won't. That's good, that's good. Cheng Xiuqin was not against the other party interacting with her family. In her opinion, it was normal for relatives to help each other. She simply hated this kind of approach with a motive. Since Su Yiyan was so certain, she could only choose to believe in her daughter's judgment. No matter what, it was better than her, a fool who had almost led a wolf into the house. They called and said that they wanted to visit. How did you reply to them? How else could I reply? Cheng Xiuqin snorted coldly. Just say that we appreciate their kindness and don't need to come over. Otherwise, we'll be annoyed when we see them. Su Yiyan laughed. That's very direct. They must be mad, right? So what if they're mad? They've already shed all pretense of cordiality. If they really go mad because of this, I'll immediately ask your brother to buy a truck full of firecrackers and set them off for 3 days and 3 nights to celebrate. I'm afraid that they're too thick-skinned. After they're done being angry, they'll have the cheek to come uninvited. Cheng Xiuqin's expression changed slightly. Don't say that. It's really possible. No, I'll ask your father to borrow a few hunting dogs from his friend. If they dare to come, I'll let the dogs bite them. I guarantee that they'll regret coming. Chapter 119. Su Yiyan did not want to admit that she was actually looking forward to seeing the couple being chased and bitten by dogs. Unfortunately, plans could not keep up with changes. She had just finished breakfast when a phone call came in. Yayan, are you free now? Brother Junxing? Su Yiyan was a little surprised. What's the matter? There is something, and it has something to do with Ning Chirue. Ning Chirue? Su Yiyan took a while to remember the small conflict she had with this person in East City. What's wrong with him? Did he go for a checkup? Yes, he went for a checkup yesterday. The results came out and said that there is indeed a problem with his body, and it is not a small problem. Yiyan, you are amazing. It turned out that after Su Yiyan had reminded him of Ning Chirue's identity that day, Xia Junxing had been a little uneasy. After hesitating for a few days, he finally could not help but want to take Ning Chirue to the hospital for a checkup. He did not expect that someone would be one step ahead of him. Ning Chirue's agent was also anxious after that day. In the end, he decided to give Ning Chirue half a day's time and dragged him to the hospital for a full body checkup. As a result, the checkup found a big problem. Ning Chirue was stunned when he held the test report. For a moment, he even suspected that the hospital had been bribed by Su Yiyan and had colluded with her to deceive him. However, the agent had a sense of realization and fear. He handled the hospitalization procedures for Ning Chirue as quickly as possible. Just as he did not know how to tell the company about this, Ning Chirue's assistant and bodyguard had already told his elder brother, Ning Siyuan, the general manager of the Ning Group. When Ning Siyuan learned that his brother had been diagnosed with a serious illness, he immediately left the mess in the company and rushed to the hospital. He learned the whole story from Ning Chirue's agent and called Xia Junxing. So, he wants to contact me through you and meet me? Xia Junxing thought that Su Yiyan did not want to meet the Qi family, so he quickly said, if you don't want to see him, I will help you turn him down. No need. Su Yiyan stopped Xia Junxing and said with a smile, Ning Chirue is our company's most popular artist. Now that he's sick, as the company's boss, it's not right for me not to visit him. That's right, after she went to the company that day, the company had been transferred to her name. She was now the real boss behind the scenes of this company. Xia Junxing breathed a sigh of relief. Then I'll pick you up now. Yes. When Su Yiyan arrived, Ning Chirue still did not believe that he had kidney disease and was arguing with his elder brother in the ward. Brother, I'm really not sick. Aren't all the hospitals like this now? Even if I'm not sick, they'll still say that I'm sick just to scam money. I know my own body very well. I don't feel any discomfort at all. How could I get such a serious illness? Ning Siyuan shot a disdainful glance at his stupid younger brother. It'll be too late by the time you feel uncomfortable, he said snappily. Chapter 120. Ning Siyuan was so angry that he laughed. You're already so old, yet you're still snitching to mom and dad. No wonder people keep telling me that you're still breastfeeding. Ning Chirue's face darkened. Who said that? I'm going to beat him up. You're so skinny? Save it. It's good enough that you didn't come crying to me after being beaten up. Brother. Are you my real brother or not? Of course I'm your brother. It's because I'm your brother that I can't just stand by and watch you get into trouble. There's no room for discussion. Go home after you're cured, or I'll tell mom and dad now and ask them to come to the hospital to accompany you. You have two choices. Choose. Ning Chirue choked. Although he said that he would tell his parents, he did not dare to tell them about it. What if this was true? He didn't dare to imagine how sad his parents who loved him would be. Ning Siyuan felt sorry for his brother when he saw him like this. He sighed and said, Are you too scared, or do you not want to believe the Miss Su who warned you? Brother, you know about it? Ning Chirue was shocked. So it's the latter? You're hostile to Miss Su? Do you have a grudge against her? Ning Siyuan frowned. He arranged for the assistant and bodyguard to follow his brother for two reasons. First, to ensure his safety. Second, he was afraid that his brother would get into conflicts with others without knowing it. Before this, he did not hear from the assistant that his brother had any substantial grudge against Miss Su. When Ning Chirue heard this, he suddenly felt a little guilty. He turned his face away and said, I just find it strange. She and I only met once. How did she know about me? Could it be that she colluded with the hospital early on? As soon as Ning Chirue finished speaking, Ning Siyuan threw a stack of examination reports in front of him. I took your test samples and sent them to several authoritative hospitals for additional tests. The test results are the same. Test samples? Brother, when did you? Do you really think that I'm sure of your illness just based on a report without checking it? If possible, I hope more than anyone else that this is not true. The last bit of hope in his heart was completely shattered. The light in Ning Chirue's eyes gradually dimmed, and his whole person suddenly became dispirited. Seeing this, Ning Siyuan sighed again. He leaned over and hugged his younger brother, comforting him. Don't be afraid. I promise that I will get someone to treat you. There are so many doctors in this world. I don't believe that I can't find one who can cure you. Ning Siyuan paused. Also, I've asked someone to contact Miss Su. She should be here soon. Since she can see the problem with your body at a glance, maybe she has a ready-made way to help you. What? Did you find someone to contact her? Before Ning Chirue could finish his sentence, he heard a cough coming from outside the ward. Cough, cough, cough. The two brothers were stunned. Ning Siyuan's eyes narrowed dangerously as he scolded coldly. Who's outside? Come in. The door opened from the outside, revealing Xia Junsheng and a certain someone who was grinning obscenely. When Ning Chirue saw the person's face clearly, he almost jumped out of bed. You. When did you come? Chapter 121. Su Yiyan did not have a good impression of the eldest son of the Ning family, but he did not have a bad impression of him either. Although this person looked serious, he was actually very fond of his younger brother. In the previous life, after Ning Chirue's death, he had helped Wen Jingping several times because of his younger brother's last words and his mother's pleas. Even his friends and subordinates suspected that he was treating Wen Jingping differently because he had taken a fancy to her. Later on, Hua Chenhuan asked him this question when they bumped into each other on the road. Su Yiyan was beside Hua Chenhuan at that time and clearly heard him say, she was the only person Chirue could not let go of before he passed away. If she died, my mother's only hope would be gone. I can't take this risk. I'm even more afraid that I won't be able to face Chirue when I'm in the afterlife. In short, he was not interested in Wen Jingping at all. It was only because his younger brother did not want his mother to lose her emotional support that he had no choice but to protect this ordinary woman. When Hua Xiaofan and Wen Jingping bit the hand that fed them and tried to take over the Qi family's assets, Ning Siyuan was not oblivious. He tried to resist. However, just like Su Yiyan in the previous life, Hua Xiaofan was not even 1/10 of Ning Siyuan's ability. If the two of them really fought, there was almost no doubt who would win. However, Hua Xiaofan had the halo of a protagonist, so all his talents and abilities had to be put aside. He was just about to make a move on the Ning family when Ning Siyuan met with an accident. Once Ning Siyuan fell, the Ning family quickly fell into chaos. Hua Xiaofan took advantage of the situation without any effort. They, who were used as stepping stones, were the ones who suffered the most. Thinking of this, Su Yiyan felt pity for the person in front of him. They were in the same boat. Ning Siyuan saw that Su Yiyan had revealed his identity as soon as they met. His eyes flashed, but he did not say anything in the end. On the other hand, when Ning Chirue heard that Su Yiyan had been standing outside the door for a while, he realized that the person in question had overheard everything he had just said to his brother. He was furious. Why didn't you say anything when you came? Don't you know that eavesdropping on other people's conversations is impolite and immoral? Chirue. Ning Siyuan scolded Ning Chirue in disapproval. Ning Chirue was still a little afraid of his brother, so he shut his mouth in embarrassment. However, his eyes were still glaring angrily at Su Yiyan. He looked like a bloated pufferfish. Su Yiyan was amused by his sullen look of being angry but not daring to speak. Second young Master Qi is right. It is indeed impolite to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. It's just that when we arrived, we happened to hear the two of you talking about me. Moreover, second young master was rather agitated at that time. If we rashly barged in at this time, I'm afraid that it would only worsen the situation. So, we decided to stand guard outside the door. When Su Yiyan said these words, he glanced at Ning Chirue teasingly, as if to say that it was impolite for them to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. Was it polite for them to talk behind people's backs? Ning Chirue's face turned red. He opened his mouth to refute, but he found that he could not say anything. Su Yiyan was right. He had indeed lost control of his emotions just now. If Su Yiyan and Ning Chirue had suddenly appeared at that time, Ning Chirue would not have been kind to them. He might even have said something hurtful in a fit of anger. Now, although he was still hostile to Su Yiyan, he had to admit that what Su Yiyan said that day was true. Chapter 122. As if sensing the change in the atmosphere in the ward, Ning Siyuan wisely broke the silence and rescued his brother. Ahem. I invited Miss Su over today because of Chirue's illness. I heard that when Miss Su met Chirue for the first time, she could tell that there was something wrong with him and reminded him to come for a checkup. That's right. A glint flashed across Ning Siyuan's eyes. How did Ms. Su notice that there was something wrong with my brother? I studied Chinese medicine on my own. Chinese medicine is all about looking, listening, questioning, and feeling the pulse. Looking is to determine whether the patient's internal organs are healthy based on his facial features and determine the patient's physical condition. Chinese medicine? Ning Siyuan's confusion was within Su Yiyan's expectations. In their world, after two great transitions, most of the Chinese herbs had gone extinct, not to mention Chinese medicine. It's a bit troublesome to explain. In short, every part of a person's body is interconnected. Once there is an internal problem, it will inevitably surface. Maybe you don't feel any discomfort at first, but in the eyes of an expert, your appearance has already warned you of your physical condition. Ning Siyuan understood most of it. He frowned and asked suspiciously, Miss Su, do you mean that you can tell the internal disease from the external appearance? Yes. Then Miss Su, can you help me check if there is anything wrong with my body? Su Yayan knew that he was testing her, and the corners of her lips curled up slightly. She smiled faintly and said, Young Master Ning's breathing is more rapid and long than the average person's. It should be the asthma that came from his mother's womb. As soon as Su Yiyan said that, everyone's expression changed, especially Ning Chirue. No one knew better than him that his elder brother was born with asthma. Although the disease was not fatal, it could only be alleviated and was difficult to cure. When it flared up occasionally, it was very distressing. Compared to him, Ning Siyuan was much calmer. Although not many people knew about his asthma, it was not a secret. It did not mean anything that Su Yiyan could say. Su Yiyan was also aware of this, so he continued, Other than that, your stomach isn't very good either. You should be having frequent stomach pains recently, right? Ning Siyuan narrowed his eyes and finally looked at the person in front of him. Brother, your stomach is really... After this incident, Ning Chirue was really scared. He looked at Su Yiyan pitifully and said anxiously, Is my brother's stomach a big problem? Do you need to check it too? Su Yiyan burst into laughter. Ning Chirue was stunned, and his face turned red. A few days ago, Ning Chirue was still questioning her in a strange manner. How long had it been since their positions were completely reversed? Ning Chirue felt his face hurt a little. After Su Yiyan laughed, he didn't make things difficult for him. He said truthfully, It's nothing serious for the time being. It's just a slight case of gastritis. However, since the disease has already occurred, we have no choice but to take it seriously. We have to recuperate for a period of time. Otherwise, if the inflammation worsens, it will be difficult to deal with. Ning Chirue breathed a sigh of relief and turned to look at his eldest brother. Brother, did you hear that? Take good care of your stomach. Don't take your health too lightly. Ning Siyuan was speechless. He was here to persuade his younger brother to take good care of his illness. Why was he being lectured instead? Let's talk about Chirue's condition first. Miss Su, since you can see Chirue's condition at a glance, do you have a way to treat him? Chapter 123. Although she thought so, she did not show it on her face. Young Master Ning, you think too highly of me. Just because I can tell doesn't mean that I know how to treat it. Ning Siyuan looked at Su Yiyan's calm expression and his eyes darkened. Naturally, he would not believe her words so easily. Others may not be able to do it, but it doesn't mean that Miss Su can't do it. Miss Su only met my useless brother once that day, and she was willing to remind him, a stranger she met by chance, to do this checkup. It shows that she is a kind and warm-hearted person. I don't think she can bear to see my brother get sick at such a young age and be involved with a hospital for the rest of his life, right? Putting on such a high hat was indeed a bit of moral kidnapping. Su Yiyan was silent and did not comment. Ning Siyuan continued, And I heard that Miss Su has taken over Dongqing recently. Dongqing spent a lot of effort on Chirue and put in a lot of effort to get him to where he is today. If Chirue can't continue to work because of his illness, Dongqing will have to bear some losses. Su Yiyan was not surprised that Ning Siyuan knew about Dongqing's change of ownership. How could this hidden brother complex know nothing about the company his brother signed with? On the contrary, Ning Chirue seemed to have just learned the news and was thunderstruck. What? She took over Dongqing? Doesn't that mean she became his boss? Su Yiyan looked at his shocked face and wanted to tease him. She smiled and said, "That's right. Dongqing was originally my family's business, and it was transferred to my name 2 days ago. So, now you are an artist under me, and I am your boss. Remember to be alert when you meet in the future. Don't be as reckless as before. Otherwise, if you make me unhappy, do you believe that I'll freeze you?" Ning Chirue's face turned green and white. He was angry and wrung his hands. Su Yiyan laughed and did not continue to tease him. She turned her attention back to Ning Siyuan. Dongqing has put in a lot of effort and resources to support Ning Chirue. Now that he's sick, he can't repay the company's nurturing. According to the company's contract, this part of the loss should be compensated by the artist. Thinking about it, the Qi family and the Ning family have big businesses. They should be able to afford such a small amount of money, right? Ning Siyuan's eyes turned cold. He had tried in vain to tempt Su Yiyan with benefits, but now he had been checkmated by Su Yiyan. His expression was rather ugly. Just as countless thoughts flashed through Ning Siyuan's mind, from coercion to sincere pleading, and then from pleading to a sky-high reward, Su Yiyan spoke again just as he was imagining the worst-case scenario. However, as President Ning said just now, I'm a kind-hearted and warm-hearted person. I really can't watch someone die in front of me, even if it's just a small life. Ning Chirue was speechless. Can you be more shameless? How could anyone boast and praise themselves like this? And what did you mean by that last sentence? He was the young master of the Ning family, but in her eyes, his life was just a small life. Was she looking down on him? Ning Chirue, who felt that he was being looked down upon, was furious again. Xia Junxing, who had followed Su Yiyan closely and had been silently standing behind her, was also stunned by Su Yiyan's actions. He sighed inwardly. Was this little girl's skin so thick? She could really compete with her brother. Chapter 124. Ning Siyuan did not care about that. His emotions were like a roller coaster that went up and down, and he was unsettled. Miss Su, do you mean that he can be cured? Su Yiyan did not comment. She picked up the test results beside the bed and glanced at them. She knew why Ning Siyuan was so anxious. Even with her reminder, Ning Chirue's kidney disease was still the same as in her previous life. It began to flare up and deteriorate. The deterioration was usually rapid and irreversible. The final conclusion of the test results was that the patient should be hospitalized as soon as possible and cooperate with the doctor to control the disease and prevent it from worsening. However, it was only control. No one could guarantee that he could be cured. The longer the disease was delayed, the more serious it would be and the harder it would be to control it. Ning Siyuan saw the change in Su Yiyan's expression and his heart skipped a beat. He was afraid that something unexpected would happen. Miss Su. I can try, but I have a condition. Miss Su, please tell me. Ning Siyuan's eyes flashed. He thought that Su Yiyan would ask for an exorbitant price, but during the treatment process, the patient needs to cooperate with me 100%. No matter what treatment plan I come up with, he can't have any objections. In addition, you and your family can't interfere with my treatment process. That's all? That's all. Su Yiyan was too lazy to beat around the bush. I'll try if I can do it. If I can't, then forget it. I won't force you. Wait. Ning Siyuan was decisive. When he saw that Su Yiyan was about to leave, he quickly said, I can agree to your conditions. Brother. Shut up. The patient has no right to speak. Ning Chirue was speechless. Did he have to be so authoritarian? What was wrong with the patient? The patient was human too. I can agree to all the conditions that Miss Su just mentioned, but Miss Su, you have to let me know first, right? As long as we agree to your conditions, can you guarantee that you can cure my brother? President Ning, you think too highly of me. Even the best doctor in the world can't make such a promise to the patient. Ning Siyuan's face darkened. Are you kidding me?
Su Yayan met his gaze without a trace of fear.
I just said I'll try. From her point of view, helping Ning Chirue was a risky endeavor. She was not foolish enough to boast to Ning Siyuan at this point in time. It would be a strenuous and unrewarding task for her. The two of them stared at each other in silence for a long time. In the end, it was Ning Siyuan who broke the silence. Even if there's no guarantee that I'll be cured, Miss Su must have some expectations in her heart. May I ask how confident Miss Su is? Su Yiyen's eyes flashed and gave a more conservative estimate. 60%. But if your brother cooperates actively and your family doesn't interfere, we can raise it to 80%. If she hadn't activated her second skill, she might not have been so confident. Now that she had activated her second skill, she was much more confident. Ning Siyuan heaved a sigh of relief. To him, this number was already considered very high. It was at least 2 or 3 times higher than the number given by the hospital. Okay, I agree to your request. As long as you can cure my brother, you'll be the benefactor of the Ning and Qi families. Chirue's condition is more urgent. The longer we delay, the more dangerous it will be. When do you think? Chapter 125. The few of them did not even realize where Su Yiyen had taken this out from. They all stared blankly at the acupuncture bag in her hand and asked doubtfully, "This is?" Su Yiyen opened the small bag, and in an instant, a row of shiny thin needles came into view in the room. Ning Chirue suddenly had an ominous feeling in his heart. Xia Junxing could not help but gasp and ask tentatively, "Yiyen, are these needles going to be inserted into Chirue's body? If not him, then who? Is there anyone else in this room who needs treatment?" After Su Yiyen finished speaking, she seemed to have thought of something and looked at Xia Junsheng and Ning Siyuan. "If you two want to be treated with me, I can also insert a few needles into your bodies." As soon as she finished speaking, Xia Junsheng and Ning Siyuan took a few steps back to distance themselves from Su Yiyen. No need. Our bodies are still considered healthy, and we will take care of ourselves in the future. You'd better treat Chirue first. Don't waste your talents on us. Ning Siyuan also chimed in. He's right. Brother. Ning Chirue did not expect that his brother, who had been so worried about his illness not long ago, would use him as a shield. Ah no, a shield. Ning Siyuan's heart softened when his brother called him that. He frowned slightly and was about to say something when he was interrupted by Su Yiyen. "President Ning, we agreed to listen to my arrangements. Are you going back on your word?" Ning Siyuan swallowed the words that were about to come out of his mouth. Ning Chirue was extremely anxious. "Brother, that's a needle. It's so long and sharp. How painful would it be if it pierced into the body? Moreover, I've never heard of anyone saying that acupuncture can cure illnesses. She's using her position to avenge a personal grudge. Brother, can you bear to see me being bullied by her like this? If you've never heard of it, it only means that you're ignorant. If your illness could be cured using normal methods, your brother wouldn't be in such a hurry to find me. Special conditions require special treatment. We agreed that you'd listen to me. If you don't cooperate, I'm leaving." Ning Chirue choked. Xia Junxing also persuaded, "Chirue, just bear with it. That needle may look scary, but for the sake of your illness and your life, what's a little pain? Do you have the heart to let your parents send you off?" Ning Chirue could not say anything and could only look at his brother for help. Ning Siyuan's heart almost softened, but when he thought of Xia Junxing's words, he steeled his heart and turned his face away to ignore his pleas. Su Yiyen's what she saw. She rolled Ning's treatment. "Get someone to guard the ward, don't let anyone come in and disturb me. As you can see, this needle is really scary. What if someone suddenly rushes in and gets scared when I'm pricking him, and accidentally pricks him?" Ning Chirue almost burst into tears. Was this a threat? It was a threat. Ning Siyuan seemed to have finally realized how scary the person in front of him was. He quietly went out to help. A few minutes later, the required items were delivered. A few bodyguards were guarding the door. Su Yiyen straightened her face. First, she lit some mugwort. The room was filled with the fresh aroma of mugwort to soothe the patient's tense mind. Then, she took out the silver needles to disinfect them. She raised her hand and approached Ning Chirue. Chapter 126. Ning Siyuan and Xia Yanyan were shocked.
They looked in the direction of the sound with their pale faces, only to see the inch-long needle hanging in front of his chest.
It did not even break his skin. The two of them. It was not just the two of them. Su Yiyan was so shocked that her hand trembled. She took a closer look and realized that she had not stabbed him at all. Su Yiyan frowned.
She looked at the spot and was about to stab him when she let out another long scream. The three people in the room.
Close, scream, close again, scream again. After a few times, Su Yiyan felt that she was going deaf.
Finally, she could not take it anymore and slammed the table beside her.
What are you screaming for? The needle didn't even go in. What are you screaming for? Even girls don't scream as loudly as you do when they get injections. You're a big man, aren't you?
Are you trying to raise your voice in front of a big boss like me so that you can recommend yourself and develop a side career?
When Xia Junxing heard Su Yiyan's words, his eyelids twitched. He reminded her, Yiyan, Chirue came from a talent show. Singing is his main job, not his side career. Su Yiyan was so angry that she laughed. Main job? No wonder he screamed so loudly. If I didn't know better, I would have thought that he was singing a folk song. After being scolded by Su Yiyan, Ning Chirue lost all his previous arrogance. He shrunk his neck like a little wife and said fearfully, I'm scared. Now you're scared? Weren't you quite capable before? I'm warning you, this is the last time. If I hear you scream again, I'll turn you into a hedgehog and let you scream to your heart's content. Ning Chirue was so scared that he burped and looked at Su Yiyan with red eyes. This woman was not human at all. She was a demon. Su Yiyan was also troubled by his behavior. Forget it. Both of you come over and help me hold him down. Don't let him move. Ning Siyuan and Xia Junxing wanted to stay as far away from Ning Chirue as possible, but they were called out. They looked at each other, and although they were reluctant, they still went forward and held Ning Chirue down. Ning Chirue wanted to cry but had no tears. He felt like he was a fish on a chopping board, and Su Yiyan was the murderer with a kitchen knife who was about to cut him into pieces. When Su Yiyan saw that he finally stopped making a fuss, she breathed a sigh of relief. She focused her attention on the acupuncture point where she was about to insert the needle, and probed forward slightly. When Ning Chirue saw the tip of the needle approaching, he opened his mouth to scream, but his eldest brother covered his mouth first. He could only watch as Su Yiyan pierced the needle into his own flesh. It wasn't painful, but there was a strange feeling that made his hair stand on end. Ning Siyuan and the other man heaved a huge sigh of relief when they saw that the needle had finally penetrated the skin. Before he could rejoice, he saw a small stream of blood suddenly fly out from the place where the needle pierced. Although it was said to be a small amount, it was actually only 2 or 3 small drops of blood. However, it still brought a great deal of trauma to the people present. The atmosphere in the ward was a little awkward for a moment. Ning Chirue's face was pale, and he looked miserable as if he was about to die. Su Yiyan also realized that she seemed to have missed the needle by a little. She laughed awkwardly and said, Ahem, I haven't practiced for too long, so I'm a little rusty. It's not a big problem. It's not a big problem. The 3 people in the room were speechless. How was this not a big problem? Chapter 127. After a moment of chaos, Su Yiyan finally managed to insert the needles into the fixed acupuncture points. After that, it was another round of torture. At first, Ning Chirue was still grumbling and refusing to comply. Later, he realized that he was already isolated and helpless in this matter. No matter how much he struggled, he could not escape from Su Yiyan's clutches. He gave up on himself and closed his eyes. Out of sight, out of mind. After a few accidents, Su Yiyan's needles became more and more stable. In the end, he basically did not feel any pain, and there were no more blunders like at the beginning. The faint aroma of mugwort drifted in the room. It was very calming and sleepy. When Su Yiyan removed the needles from Ning Chirue's back, the guy had already fallen asleep. However,
The corners of his eyes were still slightly red, and his expression was innocent with a hint of grievance. He looked like, as if he had been viciously F***ed. It was not wrong to say that he had been F***ed. After all, Su Yiyen had indeed inserted a lot of needles into him. The two onlookers had goosebumps. Ning Siyuan, who had been by the side, saw that Su Yiyen had finished inserting the needles. He anxiously stepped forward and asked in a low voice, "That's it?"
Yes.
Su Yiyen put away the needles and sighed softly. "It's the first treatment, so I'm not particularly well prepared. I'll come again in the afternoon the day after tomorrow and perform moxibustion on him again.
After that, I'll do it about twice a week."
When Ning Siyuan heard that Su Yiyen would perform the same treatment again the day after tomorrow, his face was a little pale. When he heard the second half of the sentence, his expression became slightly better. In addition, after the acupuncture, you have to pay special attention to your diet. You can't drink alcohol and eat some stimulant food. You can eat more protein foods like fish, eggs, milk, and so on. After Su Yiyen finished speaking, he seemed to have thought of something and sighed.
Forget it. You probably don't understand. I'll take care of the diet myself. From today onwards, send someone to my house for 3 meals a day. I don't have time to send it to you every day.
Medicinal cuisine.
Aren't you curious about how I can treat you? This is my method, acupuncture and moxibustion, supplemented with medicinal cuisine. However, your brother's illness is rather serious. It may take some time. You and your family should be mentally prepared. Ning Siyuan clenched his fists instinctively. As long as his brother could be cured, spending some time was nothing. They could afford to wait, as long as he could recover. Then I'll leave it to you, Miss Su. Leave your contact details with Miss Su and I'll send someone to pick it up regularly.
Ning Siyuan paused. As for the cost of the meal, the corners of Su Yiyen's lips curled up slightly as she teased, "There's no need to pay for the meal.
My family also needs to eat, so it's not a big deal to bring him along. However, I hope that President Ning can help me keep an eye on him when the time comes, lest he thinks that I'm trying to poison him with ill intentions. If he throws away all the things that I worked so hard to make, then I really can't do anything." Ning Siyuan felt a little awkward when he heard what she said. He asked tentatively, "May I ask if there's any conflict between Miss Su and Chirue? Chirue seems to have feelings for you, Miss Su."
Su Yiyen knew what he wanted to ask. Her eyes flickered slightly as she said with a faint smile, "Conflict?
Not really. Today is the second time I've met him. The first time was in Dongqing City when I asked him to go for a checkup." Chapter 128. Ning Siyuan thought he had figured out the truth but was interrupted by Su Yiyen with a smile. "That's not entirely true. Isn't it?
Your brother's hostility toward me didn't start after I said those words to him, but before.
To be more precise, it was when I hadn't even spoken to him yet. Just by hearing Brother Junxing mention my name, he already showed hostility towards me. Brother Junxing can testify to that." Xia Junxing frowned when he heard Su Yiyen mention him. He stepped forward and said, "That's right. I wanted to introduce them to each other at that time, but Chirue's expression changed when he heard Su Yiyen's name." "Miss Su, are you suspecting that someone deliberately sowed discord in front of Chirue?" Ning Siyuan didn't think they were lying. According to the assistant's description, Su Yiyen and Xia Junxing were not the only people present that day. Ning Chirue's manager was also present. Even if he didn't ask his brother about the situation that day, he could ask his manager. "I don't know about that. President Ning, you can ask your brother if you really want to know. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Contact me if there's anything else." Su Yiyen had done everything she could, so Ning Siyuan had no reason to keep her. After a long time, Su Yiyen was a little tired. She sat in the car and let out a long sigh. When she looked up, she saw Xia Junxing's conflicted face. "What's the matter? Why are you looking at me like that? Can you really cure Chirue's illness by poking him like that? What else can I do? Could it be that you also think that I'm abusing my power to avenge a personal grudge and take revenge on him? Aren't you?"
"Yes," Su Yiyen admitted readily.
Xia Junxing's expression changed slightly. "You
But it's indeed an effective way to save him.
Xia Junxing breathed a sigh of relief and asked curiously, "Is it really effective? Are you afraid that if it's useless, the Ning family and the Qi family will come after me?" Xia Junsheng was exposed by her and looked embarrassed. "Don't worry, I won't do something I'm not sure of. Otherwise, I would have rejected this from the beginning. It's not like there's a hole in my head for causing such trouble for no reason." Since Su Yiyan had already said so much, Xia Junxing believed her for the time being and did not continue this topic. Su Yiyan was left alone. She turned to look out of the car window, lost in thought. Indeed, she wasn't worried that Ning Xiyuan would find trouble with her. According to the cautious temperament of the eldest son of the Ning family, after she left, he would definitely ask the hospital to give Ning Qirue a full-body examination again. Facts spoke louder than words. No matter how much she said, it was not as intuitive as the test data. When he saw the results, he would know that what she said was true. At that time, he wouldn't even have enough time to thank him. How could he be so foolish as to personally extinguish his younger brother's only hope? Su Yiyan had thought about it a long time ago. The key to the Ning and Qi families becoming Wen Jingping's allies was Ning Qirue. The only way to break this deadlock was to cure Ning Qirue's illness. In this way, no matter what, she would still be Ning Qirue's savior. Even if Ning Qirue was brainwashed by Wen Jingping and was dead set on her, the Ning and Qi families would not target her in the future because of this kindness. On the other hand, they would still leave some leeway for Wen Jingping, who instigated Ning Qirue to be her enemy. She did not believe that with so many people in the Ning family, everyone was as blind as Ning Qirue.
They could not see the true colors of the two people and were at their mercy.
Chapter 129. When Su Yiyan returned to the Su family, it was already afternoon. She had just sat down in her room when Hua Chenhuan sent her a video call. Su Yiyan's eyes lit up, and she picked it up immediately. The first thing she saw was a familiar dog's face. Dun Dun first circled the camera a few times, then finally pressed its butt under the camera and used its heart-shaped butt to fill the screen. Su Yiyan was speechless. Showing off its butt in public. How long had it been since they last met? Had this little guy become so flirtatious? Before Su Yiyan could admire her Zai's cute little butt up close, a hand reached over from the side and pulled the little troublemaker aside. Su Yiyan's eyes lit up, and she called out happily, "Chenhuan." Hua Chenhuan could tell that she was in a good mood. His eyes darkened and he replied softly, "Yes." Dun Dun, who had become yesterday's flower and was thrown aside, was speechless. Every time this happened, it missed its Hua Hua very much. "Don't you have something to do today? Is it done? Did you eat lunch on time? No matter how busy you are, you have to eat on time." Su Yiyan couldn't help nagging when she saw Hua Chenhuan. At the same time, she felt that the wedding was taking too long. If they could get married earlier, she could stay by his side all the time. She wouldn't have to worry about this and that just after being separated for a short period of time. Hua Chenhuan listened to Su Yiyan's nagging, and the depression in his heart slowly faded away. He responded good-naturedly. "It's done. I eat on time, but the food they make isn't as good as yours. Then I'll make it in the future. I'll get someone to send it to you." Su Yiyan wanted to send it herself, but there were 4 or 5 people at home watching her. If she went to send it every day, she would make Hua Chenhuan hate her. She had already helped him pull some strings with the old master this morning. Cough cough. Hua Chenhuan could also understand this. Her gaze, which was as cold as a knife not long ago, also softened a lot. After the two of them chatted for a while, Hua Chenhuan couldn't help but ask, "Where did you go today?" Su Yiyan was slightly startled and subconsciously answered, "I went to the hospital." "Hospital? I'm fine. It's just that there's something wrong with an artist in the company. I'm going over to take a look." Su Yiyan paused for a moment. She remembered that she still had to treat Hua Chenhuan later. She gritted her teeth and took the initiative to explain everything that had happened. In the end, he even emphasized the identities of Ning Qirue and Ning Xiyuan. He repeatedly assured that he had reluctantly decided to save Ning Qirue because he was worried that his company would be affected if something happened to Ning Qirue. After finally explaining the whole thing clearly, Su Yiyan subconsciously clenched her hands and anxiously waited for Hua Chenhuan's inquiry. She had thought that Hua Chenhuan would ask her why she suddenly wanted to take over Dongqing City. When did she start to learn these things? How did she learn? Who did she learn from? Why did she learn these things? Over and over again, she prepared a script in her heart for fear that she would accidentally give herself away, and it would be difficult to justify herself. Unexpectedly, after listening to her explanation, Hua Chenhuan was silent for a long time and only said one sentence. You said that you injected him with a few needles? Then did you touch him? Chapter 130. Hua Chenhuan didn't feel that there was anything wrong with this point. He frowned and said unhappily, Is this question difficult to answer? God knew that when he was setting up the proposal place by the sea, he suddenly received a message from his subordinates. When he learned that Su Yiyan had been alone with the two young masters of the Ning family in the hospital ward for more than an hour, his face darkened. For a moment, Hua Chenhuan had already thought of how to kill all the men who got close to his fiancée. Then he would take her to a place only he knew and lock her up so that no one could see her. Su Yiyan didn't know that her unintentional action had almost become the fuse that detonated the bomb. She scratched her face awkwardly and avoided his eyes. It's not really touching. I just touched. After all, she was a beginner. She had to carefully confirm the acupoints on the patient's body before she dared to insert the needle. What if the needle went astray if she didn't press it? She didn't want to experience a certain someone's demonic voice piercing her ears and flooding the Golden Mountain again. I'm not very proficient in acupuncture. I can't find the acupoints if I don't press it. You don't know that I missed several times when I pricked him at the beginning. He cried miserably with snot and tears. Su Yiyan looked up at Hua Chenhuan and pursed her lips. If you don't like it, I won't touch him next time. Even if I have to do acupuncture, I'll ask someone to press it for me. Is that okay? This glance accurately pierced into the softest part of Hua Chenhuan's heart and easily dispersed the haze that shrouded his heart. The person in front of him could always accurately poke his weak spot before he was on the verge of losing control of his emotions and suppress the dark thoughts in his heart. It was true that there was always one thing to conquer another. Hua Chenhuan bent his fingers hard, revealing his pale knuckles, and then slowly loosened them. After repeating this several times, he asked in a hoarse voice, Don't you think I'm overbearing? Overbearing? No. Su Yiyan stared into his eyes and said matter-of-factly, As long as you don't like it, I won't do it. In my heart, nothing is more important than making you happy. Of course, if this is considered bossy, then I like it when you're bossy to me. At that moment, Hua Chenhuan seemed to have heard the most moving words of love in the world. The tips of his ears turned red uncontrollably, and his restless heart calmed down completely. I'm not unhappy. Su Yiyan blinked and thought to herself, Who are you trying to fool? When you asked that question just now, the fire in your eyes was about to spurt out. How is it that you're not unhappy? When Hua Chenhuan met Su Yiyan's gaze, he looked bitter and compromised. You can continue to treat him, but the condition is that I must be present. This was his bottom line. At that time, Ning Chirue, who was still lying in the hospital and sleeping soundly, suddenly trembled. His face was full of pain, and no one knew what terrible nightmare he had. In Su Yiyan's eyes, Hua Chenhuan's request was nothing at all. Sure, I'll tell you in advance the next time we go. I'll bring you to see how I stab him. If he saw more now and was mentally prepared, he would not be afraid when he was stabbed in the future. Hua Chenhuan, who was completely unaware of Su Yiyan's sinister intentions, nodded cooperatively. Okay. Seeing that this extremely dangerous topic was finally over, Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief. Chapter 131. Hua Chenhuan's body stiffened and his facial expression twitched uncontrollably. Su Yiyan tilted his head and signaled with his eyes that he was listening. Looking into Su Yiyan's eyes, Hua Chenhuan's excuses were useless. In the end, he replied in defeat and embarrassment, I'm just worried about you. Su Yiyan looked at him for a while and suddenly smiled. I know. Aren't you angry? Why should I be angry? I know you're worried about me, so you sent someone to follow me. You're afraid that if something happens to me, there will be no one by my side. This is a good thing. My fiancé cares about me so much and values me so much. If word gets out, I don't know how many girls will be jealous of me. Hua Chenhuan's eyes flickered slightly, and his originally tense knuckles gradually relaxed. Besides, I'm not going out to do anything shameful. It's just one more person secretly protecting me. What's there to be angry about? Su Yiyan couldn't help but smile. He joked, if you're really worried that I'll be angry, then I'll give you a special privilege now. Special privilege? What privilege? I'll allow you to send someone to follow me secretly and make sure that you know everything I do in time. Oh, of course, except for some small surprises that I want to give you. If you know about them in advance, then they won't be considered a surprise. Hua Chenhuan was stunned. Thinking of the surprises he prepared for Su Yiyan, if they were discovered by him in advance, it would indeed be a lot less fun. Su Yiyan said with regret, actually, I also want to find someone to keep an eye on you and report to me every day about you. For example, whether you eat on time, whether you rest well, whether you stay up late again. Su Yiyan talked a lot. Hua Chenhuan was not the least bit impatient. Instead, he softly said, I'll let Xian report to you every day. Su Yiyan was stunned. After a few seconds, he realized what he meant and asked in surprise, Can I? Sure. Then you have to make him tell me the truth. He can't cover for you. All right. Starting tomorrow? Today is fine too. Hearing Hua Chenhuan's straightforward answer, Su Yiyan was overjoyed at the unexpected good news. She stared at him for quite a while before sighing with emotion. Oh, how can you be this good? Hua Chenhuan blushed at her direct praise, but her eyes were bright as she stared at Su Yiyan. He secretly thought that the good person was not him, but the girl in front of him who tolerated him and put his wishes first. To put it nicely, it was because he was worried about her and sent people to protect her secretly. To put it bluntly, it was because he was following her, spying on her, and even monitoring her. If it was an ordinary person, even if they didn't explode on the spot, they would definitely feel disgusted. However, he saw very clearly that Su Yiyan was not the least bit unhappy. She even approved of his actions. It was because she was confident that she would not do anything to let Hua Chenhuan down. At the same time, it was like she said, she wanted him to be happy and at ease. She magnanimously fulfilled his possessiveness and tolerated his bigotry. Thinking of this, Hua Chenhuan's heart felt a little hot. The two ignored Dun Dun, who was chased out of the screen, and looked at each other affectionately through the screen for a while. Suddenly, they heard a noisy dog barking from downstairs. Chapter 132. Hua Chenhuan raised her eyebrows slightly, and Su Yiyan was also stunned for a moment. The one with the biggest reaction was Dun Dun, who had been sad and had been forced to be a third wheel. It stood up and stared at its owner on the screen with its dark eyes, as if to ask, I've only been away for a few days, and you already have another dog? Hua Chenhuan was also puzzled. You have another dog? Su Yiyan didn't react at first, but then she remembered that before she went out, her mother seemed to have told her father to ask for a few hounds from his friends. If Hua Qihan's family dared to come over, the dogs would bite them. Could it be? It's not me, it's my mother. She asked my father to borrow a few dogs from his friends this morning. Borrow dogs? Yes. As Su Yiyan spoke, she had already pulled open the curtains in the room. When she saw the two familiar figures at the door of her house, her eyes lit up. Wait, I'll take you to see a good show. When Su Yiyan came down from upstairs, Cheng Xiuqin was standing at the door. Her face was as cold as frost, and her chin was slightly raised. She looked at the two people opposite her with disdain, as if she had seen some dirty garbage that she couldn't stand. Beside her, Mr. Su was holding two dogs in each hand. The four hounds, which were half the height of a person, were majestically blocking the door. Coupled with their loud barks, it was really frightening. Su Yiyan wanted to go closer to watch the show, but she was stopped by someone. Grandpa? Why are you here? Old Master Cheng snorted coldly. If I'm not here, where else can I be? Those two idiots outside rushed to our house so anxiously. Isn't it because of me? If I go out like this, won't I be giving them what they want? Su Yiyan immediately understood. So, my mother asked you to stay here and watch the show? Old Master Cheng knocked his crutch on the ground and snorted, his face full of displeasure. Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh. Her mother asked the old man to stay in the house. On the one hand, she didn't want Hua Qihan and his wife to see him. On the other hand, she was probably afraid that if there was a conflict, the old man's hands and feet would be injured easily. However, the old man wasn't someone who could stay idle. In addition, he had heard about the matter between Su Yiyan and Hua Xiaofeng, so he was full of anger. Instead of sitting in the house leisurely watching the show, he hoped that he could personally lead the 4 dogs and bite those 2 people. Hua Qihan and his wife had never thought that they would face such an awkward situation one day. Before they came, they still felt a little lucky. They thought that generous and honest people like Cheng Xiuqin and her husband would not stop their guests from entering. But they forgot that honest people might be easy to bully, but if they were really forced into a corner, they would be much more terrible than ordinary people. Hua Qihan looked at the 4 restless dogs with a livid face, but he didn't want to go back empty-handed. He could only keep winking at his wife. Mrs. Hua was afraid of dogs. Now, facing the 4 dogs, her legs were a little weak. Helpless, her husband refused to go back. She could only bite the bullet and shout, "Xiuqin, I don't." Before she finished speaking, Cheng Xiuqin interrupted her impatiently. "I'm not familiar with you. You'd better call me Mrs. Su. Otherwise, people will think that our family Hua is a relative of yours." Chapter 133. Hua Qihan was anxious and angry when he saw that his wife was rebuffed. He took a step forward and said, "Xiuqin, I know you're still angry about Xiaofeng. I've already scolded him severely. You've been friends with Huan for so many years. You're breaking up with her just because of the children. Isn't that?" Cheng Xiuqin almost laughed out of anger. Listen to his tone. "You scolded your son, hurt my daughter, and ruined my family's reputation. Can I pretend that nothing happened? You're breaking up with me just because of the children? If it weren't for the children, we wouldn't be able to see the ugly side of your family." Cheng Xiuqin was disgusted when he thought of how he had been so devoted to this old college friend whom he hadn't seen for a long time. He sighed inwardly that he was really blind. Mr. Su was also disgusted by this family's thick skin. He led the dogs in front of his wife and scolded coldly. "What are you barking for? Do you think you can call my wife by her name?" Her sour words made Hua Qihan's long-prepared speech choke in his throat. The 4 dogs led by Mr. Su opened their mouths and barked at Hua Qihan. Their faces were ferocious, and their mouths were full of sharp white teeth as if they would pounce on them and tear them apart at any time. Hua Qihan and Mrs. Hua subconsciously took a few steps back, their faces pale. Fortunately, Hua Qihan had been the CEO of a company for so many years and had seen a lot of storms. He took a deep breath and barely suppressed the fear and grievance in his heart. He said dryly, "Don't be angry. Don't be angry. We're really here today to apologize. It's true that Xiaofeng was wrong about the engagement, but didn't Yan already beat him up? Xiaofeng is still lying in the hospital, and we've already ordered him to break up with the girl who seduced him. Can you be magnanimous and forgive him this time?" Su Yiyan, who was in the room, raised her eyebrows slightly and was a little surprised. This couple actually forced Hua Xiaofeng to break up with Wen Jingping? But thinking about it carefully, the couple in the original novel didn't have a good impression of Wen Jingping, who came from an ordinary family. If Wen Jingping hadn't hooked up with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the male supporting characters, she had accumulated some connections for herself and could help Hua Xiaofeng in his career. This snobbish couple might not have accepted her as their daughter-in-law. The most disgusting thing was that Hua Qihan had used the word seduced to describe Wen Jingping. Was he trying to push all the blame onto Wen Jingping and get rid of Hua Xiaofeng and his family? Cheng Xiuqin and Cheng Xiuqin were originally full of anger and were about to close the door and let the dog out. However, they were a little stunned by his interference. Yan beat up Hua Xiaofeng? Cheng Xiuqin turned her head and glanced at her husband, only to see that he was also at a loss. Obviously, he knew nothing about this matter. Hua Qihan saw the changes in their expressions and knew that Su Yiyan hadn't told them about it. Yes, the two met 2 days ago and had a small conflict. Yan beat up Xiaofeng. Xiaofeng is still lying in the hospital and can't get out of bed. Chapter 134. Hua Qihan's words were very skillful. He had hit someone and even sent them to the hospital. Ordinary people would subconsciously side with the weaker party when they heard about it. He only said that Su Yiyan hit someone, but did not say why Su Yiyan had a conflict with Hua Xiaofeng or why she hit him. He took things out of context and vaguely implied that Su Yiyan hit Hua Xiaofeng because she was angry about being cheated on. Hua Xiaofeng was indeed wrong before, but now he had hit and scolded him. They also made him break up with that woman. If the Su family continued to pursue the matter, they would inevitably be aggressive. Su Yiyan narrowed her eyes and saw through Hua Qihan's plan at a glance. She wanted to go out and expose them, but she was caught by Old Master Cheng again. "Where are you going?" "Of course, I'm going out to explain it to them. If I was really angry about the engagement, I would have hit Hua Xiaofeng and sent him to the hospital. Why would I wait until now?" Old Master Cheng heard some clues and his eyes darkened. However, he still did not let Su Yiyan go out. "Don't run around. It's useless for a junior like you to go out. They might even accuse you." Old Master Cheng wanted to say, "Grandpa will stand up for you." However, when he was about to say it, he remembered his daughter's instructions not long ago and had to swallow his words. Coincidentally, Qin Shueru happened to hear the noise and came down from upstairs. Old Master Cheng changed the topic. "Let your aunt help you." "Huh?" Qin Shueru looked confused. Su Yiyan suddenly reacted and said excitedly, "Aunt, do me a favor." Outside the door, Hua Qihan saw that Cheng Xiuqin's and Qin Shueru's expressions were slightly relaxed. Just as he was about to say something, he saw a beautiful woman come out of the house. Qin Shueru glanced at the couple with an ice-cold expression. She quickly walked up to Cheng Xiuqin and whispered a few words into her ear. The few people present saw Cheng Xiuqin's face darken at a speed visible to the naked eye. He looked at the two of them as if he wanted to eat them alive. "Old Su, release the dogs and bite them." Although Father Su didn't know what Qin Shueru said to his wife, since she was so angry, it must be that the couple had done something to make her angry again. As a qualified wife-slave, Mr. Su believed in his wife unconditionally. He let go of the leash in his hand so that the dogs could no longer be controlled and rushed toward Hua Qihan and Su Qianxi. "What are you doing? Don't come over, don't come over." The two of them were shocked, especially Mrs. Hua. Her legs were so weak that she could not run. She was dragged by Hua Qihan for a few steps before she finally reacted and stumbled forward. However, how could a two-legged person outrun an experienced four-legged hound? It didn't take long for the four dogs to catch up. From afar, the screams of the two of them could be heard as they were bitten by the dogs. Ha ha ha! Although Su Yiyan couldn't see their miserable state, he could roughly imagine how miserable the two of them were when he heard the screams. He felt a burst of joy in his heart. After laughing for a while, he took the initiative to greet the hero of the day and praised sincerely, "Mom, you were really amazing just now." Chapter 135. After Cheng Xiuqin finished bragging, he seemed to have thought of something and his face darkened. "No, I only let the dogs bite them. It's not enough to appease my hatred. Look at who was the one who begged us to marry our daughter to him. Now look at what happened. We're the ones who won't let him go and want to climb up to him. Even if we can't be husband and wife, we can still be friends. Pfft, this family is really shameless." "What?" Mr. Su was still upset that his daughter only praised his wife and not him. When he heard this, he couldn't be bothered to be jealous. He was about to walk out with a dark face when Su Yiyan pulled him back. "Dad, where are you going?" "I'm going to chase them back." "Chase them back?" Su Yiyan blinked and looked curious. "And then beat them up?" Su Yiyan was amused by her father's straightforward words. Forget it. Beating trash like them will only dirty your hands." Although she said that, Mr. Su was still a little indignant. Su Yiyan saw this and smiled slightly. She took the initiative to hug Mr. Su's hand and comforted him. "Also, I've already taught Hua Xiaofeng a lesson. Didn't you hear what they said? Hua Xiaofeng is still lying in the hospital and can't get out. Today they suffered at your hands. They probably won't be able to cause any trouble for a while." Qin Shueru came out late and missed the first part of the show. When she heard Mr. Su's words, she was still a little suspicious. "Yan, did you really beat him up? Did you hit him hard?" Could it be that this family exaggerated their son's injuries in order to blackmail us? With Qin Shueru's reminder, Cheng Xiuqin and Cheng Xiuqin came back to their senses and turned to look at Su Yiyan questioningly. Su Yiyan smiled and said gloatingly, "They're not lying this time. That day, I beat Hua Xiaofan up quite badly. His face is needless to say. The main thing is, that place. I kicked him a few times. I don't know if his balls are broken?"
Everyone present. After a suffocating silence, Mr. Su turned his face away uncomfortably.
He refused to think about how tragic Hua Xiaofeng's situation was. Qin Shueru and Qin Shueru blushed. They were embarrassed and relieved at the same time. He deserved it. Towards this kind of scum who still went out to fool around even though he already had a fiancée, he should be kicked until he couldn't take care of himself for the rest of his life. The two of them were not the only ones who had such thoughts. When Old Master Cheng heard the words that Su Yiyan had asked Qin Shueru to convey, his face turned ashen and his anger soared. He almost rushed out to beat up the couple without caring about anything else. Yan didn't do anything wrong. People who think too highly of themselves and think that they can humiliate others just because they have a good family background should be taught a lesson so that they won't harm others in the future. This couple was really stupid. Their son had done such a thing, yet they still had the face to come here. Did they really think that we would forgive them just because they apologized? This family Hua is rotten to the core. It's hopeless. When Su Yiyan heard the first part of the conversation, she hurriedly nodded in agreement. However, when she heard the last part, she couldn't accept it. "Grandpa, you can't overturn the whole boat with one pole. That Hua Xiaofeng's family is indeed a weirdo, but my fiancé is a good person." Old Master Cheng instantly choked. He looked at his precious granddaughter, who was consciously defending her fiancé's reputation and talking back to him with righteous words. He immediately muttered to himself, "You're not even married yet, but you already know how to side with outsiders." How am I siding with outsiders? Once we get married, we'll be a family. I'm clearly siding with them. Chapter 136. The visit of the two elders of the family Hua ended with the two men being chased by dogs all the way. After that, Cheng Xiuqin seemed to feel that it was not enough to vent his anger, so he called the security guard of the residential area to complain. How big of a hidden danger was it to the safety of the residential area to let strangers in without the permission of the residents? What if the person who sneaked in was a psychopath or a murderer? Wouldn't it endanger the safety of the residents? When the security guard received the complaint call, he subconsciously glanced at the two men who were besieged by 4 dogs not far away. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly, and he secretly complained, "It's not certain whose safety this will endanger." However, in line with the principle of customer first and the fact that he was indeed responsible for this matter, the security guard asked a passerby for a video of Hua Qihan and his wife being bitten by dogs and sent it to Cheng Xiuqin. The 4 dogs that Mr. Su had borrowed were all hounds that had been carefully trained by their owner. They were disciplined and would not easily hurt people without their owner's permission. Therefore, although these dogs had pounced on Hua Qihan and his wife at first, they did not hurt them. They just kept biting their skirts and clothes. The dogs, which were half the height of a person, were strong and almost as strong as an adult man. The 2 dogs tugged at Hua Qihan's trouser legs from both sides. Hua Qihan couldn't break free at all. With a tearing sound, his belt was torn, and a small part of his trouser was pulled down, revealing his somewhat funny natal year underwear. At that time, there were several people around, and they could not help but laugh when they saw this. The few people who sympathized with him did not dare to go forward and challenge the power of these dogs. They could only stand by and watch this farce sympathetically and helplessly. Hua Qihan had lived for more than 40 years and had never been so humiliated. In a fit of anger, he kicked the dog closest to him. The dog did not hurt people because of its owner's instructions. Otherwise, Hua Qihan and his wife would have been torn apart by it. Hua Qihan's kick hurt the dog, and it became angry. It no longer followed the rules and opened its bloody mouth to bite Hua Qihan's fleshy buttocks. Ha 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 ha. I'm dying of laughter. I'm dying of laughter. How delightful. How delightful. Who asked them to bully others? This is great. If someone posts it on the public platform, their family will become famous. Ha 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 ha. Cheng Xiuqin watched the scene in the video and laughed. Mr. Su watched from the side. Although he felt happy, He still frowned and covered Cheng Xiuqin's eyes. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you covering my eyes? Don't look. You'll get a pinprick. His wife was looking at another man in front of him. Although it was pardonable, Mr. Su couldn't help but feel jealous. Cheng Xiuqin. She wasn't a child, why would she have needle eyes? Su Yiyan chuckled when she heard her father's sour complaint. This is something worth keeping as a souvenir. Mom, send me a copy later. Before Su Yiyan's father could say anything, old Master Cheng had already reprimanded her. Nonsense. You're an unmarried girl. How can you keep such a thing? All right, whatever you say then. Chapter 137. Su Yiyan's action of opening the door suddenly paused, and her eyes widened unconsciously. She finally remembered what she had forgotten. When the commotion broke out downstairs, Su Yiyan was in the middle of a video call with Hua Chenhuan. Considering that the relationship between Hua Chenhuan and Hua Qihan's family was not very good, she wanted to take some people downstairs to watch the commotion. However, she bumped into old Master Cheng as soon as she went downstairs. In order to prevent old Master Cheng from finding out that she was in the middle of a video call with Hua Chenhuan, he would accuse Hua Chenhuan of seducing an innocent, ignorant girl with glib words. Su Yiyan secretly clipped the camera to her jacket pocket so that Hua Chenhuan could see everything that was happening outside through the small camera. Later, Hua Qihan suddenly mentioned that she had hit Hua Xiaofan. Su Yiyan's head was hot and she was so focused on how to get rid of those two eyesores that she forgot that she was still connected to Hua Chenhuan. Everything else was fine, but what she had just said to her grandfather, wouldn't Hua Chenhuan? Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyan's flushed face and smiled slightly. She said meaningfully, "Why are you panicking? Are you afraid that I'll hear something that I shouldn't?" It would have been better if Hua Chenhuan had not said anything. Now that she said it, Su Yiyan's face turned even redder. This fellow was simply asking the obvious. Su Yiyan did not want to continue this topic with him. She glared at him angrily and said awkwardly, "Where's Dun Dun? I think I heard its voice just now." How could Hua Chenhuan not understand Su Yiyan's thoughts? She followed her words and turned the camera. Su Yiyan took a closer look and saw that the familiar but was facing away from her and shaking. In front of it was a beautiful flower wall. Judging from this scene, it should be in Hua Chenhuan's garden? What's wrong with it? It knows that its owner has a new dog, so it's preparing to run away from home. Running away from home? Su Yiyan tilted her head in confusion. What kind of running away from home is this? It's more like facing the wall to reflect. Hua Chenhuan smiled and explained, "There's a hole in the corner of the wall. It wanted to crawl out from there, but it got stuck." Su Yiyan. Are you trying to say that it's too fat? That's right. Why did it have to crawl through a hole? Did it think it was a mole? Well, it's stuck. If Dun Dun knew what Su Yiyan was thinking, he would definitely roll his eyes at her. How could a runaway swagger through the door? It had always been a very ritualistic dog. Of course, it had to sneak out through a hole when it ran away from home. Unfortunately, no matter how ritualistic it was, it misjudged its size and got stuck as soon as it found a hole to crawl into. In the end, it could only be pulled out of the hole with the help of Hua Chenhuan and completely shut itself in. Su Yiyan finally got the video of Hua Qihan and his wife being bitten by the dog. She even forwarded it to Hua Chenhuan and said proudly, "Humph, after all this fuss, it's still in my hands. You see, they came to my house today and made a scene. If this video is released, I'm afraid their family will become the laughing stock of the upper-class circle." Ha ha ha. After watching the video, Hua Chenhuan calmly clicked to save it and then said in the same sour tone as Mr. Su, "I'll save it for you. You can delete it." Su Yiyan's laughter stopped abruptly and she looked at him in confusion. Chapter 138. This familiar argument made Su Yiyan laugh. She raised her eyebrows and joked, "Really? Then I won't watch it in the future." Hua Chenhuan was relieved. "Okay. But I really want to see yours. Can't I?" Hua Chenhuan was stunned. Her usually serious face turned red from her cheeks to her neck at a speed visible to the naked eye.
Su Yayan threw herself into the blanket and laughed hysterically. She laughed until Hua Chunhuan was about to fly into a rage out of humiliation. She coughed lightly and said, "Okay, I won't joke with you anymore. Since you want to delete it, then delete it. But you have to save it for me. If they dare to come and disturb my parents in the future, I'll buy an advertising space in the central square and broadcast this video 24 hours a day. I'll make them a complete laughingstock." "Okay. Done, help me comfort it. I am still very loyal. There is no other dog except for it. My dad has just sent the 4 dogs back." "Okay. I still have to cook, so I'll leave first. I'll contact you later." "Okay." Su Yiyan was about to end the video call when Hua Chunhuan suddenly shouted, "Wait!" "Ha! Is there anything else?" Hua Chunhuan lowered her head slightly and said without rhyme or reason, "Mine can but not others." "Ha!" Before Su Yiyan could react, she ended the video call as quickly as possible. Su Yiyan was stunned for a few seconds before she realized what Hua Chunhuan meant. She threw her head back into the soft quilt and used the quilt to hide her uncontrollable laughter. How could this guy be so cute? On the other side, Hua Chunhuan, who had unilaterally cut off the communication, spent a long time trying to reduce the heat on her face. She looked at the video in her hand and her eyes sharpened. She turned to contact Zui Yanbai. "Young master? Hua Qihan has been too idle recently. Find something for him to do." Zui Yanbai was stunned. She expected that Hua Qihan's family might have done something to upset their young master. She was not stupid enough to provoke Hua Chunhuan at this time. She simply replied, "Yes." After ending the call, Hua Chunhuan's expression darkened. His eyes had regained their sharpness, and they were deep and dangerous. A few unpresentable bedbugs were jumping around like grasshoppers after autumn. His patience was about to be worn out. It seemed that his plan had to be brought forward. Since Su Yiyan promised Ning Xiyuan to help treat Ning Chirue, she had already drafted a short-term medicinal diet list on the way back from the hospital. Other than that, Su Yiyan had to continue to help her aunt recuperate. Therefore, the general direction of the live stream that afternoon was more or less the same. However, when Su Yiyan prepared the materials and turned on the live broadcast, she found that something was wrong. The number of people waiting in her live broadcast room had doubled from the last time. Many new viewers seemed to have bad intentions. It's finally live broadcast. I thought this plagiarist was too scared to come online. She has already been torn apart by the host, but she still came online as if nothing had happened. Shameless people are invincible. Rubbish host, your face is as big as a basin. I'm going to vomit. Don't. Maybe she's here to apologize. After all, the host has already taken action. Unacceptable. Plagiarist, get out of here. Chapter 139. As soon as Su Yiyan's words came out, the bullet screen became even fiercer. Fortunately, there were still some of her true fans. When they heard her ask, they replied to her immediately. The girl who had been selected before, Xia Yoshi, even sent her a private message with a link. Su Yiyan clicked on it and saw a long article. To be precise, it was a long statement. As soon as Su Yiyan saw the owner's ID, she roughly guessed the whole story. Her live broadcast popularity on Chonghua Network was getting higher and higher. When Jinping finally couldn't hold back and came to suppress her, Su Yiyan read the statement as fast as she could. The summary was, "I've been participating in the talent show recently and haven't paid attention to the situation in the live broadcast room. I've missed a lot of news. Today, the program team finally had a break. She could finally go online and see the fans' private messages. She knew that someone plagiarized her on the website and became popular. After that, there was a bitter and hateful confession, emphasizing that the dishes she made in the live broadcast room were from her family's recipes. She wanted to use them to benefit the public, but she didn't expect that they would be used for plagiarism. She didn't intend to pursue the responsibility of the plagiarist, but she also asked her to consciously stop this hurtful behavior and stop using it to make money. After reading the whole article, the familiar white lotus aura came straight to her. Although she didn't directly say the name of Su Yiyan's live broadcast room, on the same website, the food channel, she was the only one who suddenly became popular recently. People with a little investigation would find out.
The most brilliant thing was that she didn't mention the dishes that Su Yiyen made in the live broadcast room. She directly concluded that the dishes that Su Yiyen made in the live broadcast room were plagiarized. She also used her family's recipes to support her statement. She played the good relationship card. People who didn't know the truth would subconsciously lean towards the weak when they saw this statement. They would think that she was so kind and unpretentious but was still bullied. The person who bullied her was too hateful. The preconceived impression was very bad. With this subconscious thought, who would care about the truth of the matter? At that time, they would hire a group of paid posters to mix in with the passers-by to stir up trouble. They would not need any evidence, and they would be able to convict Su Yiyen verbally. The people who flooded the screen in his live broadcast room were either the water army or brainless, righteous people, who had been instigated by Wen Jingping. Su Yiyen's eyes darkened slightly as he sneered. It seems that someone's skin is really thicker than the city walls. He has encircled onlooker and even the gourmet circle as his own territory. Is the housekeeper here? You can give him a title now. Hua Chenhuan had also just logged in. As soon as he entered the live stream, he saw those annoying comments. His face darkened. Even if Su Yiyen did not say anything, he would have already started to ban his account. Wen Jingping had quite a number of fans. Recently, she had also attracted some fans from participating in the talent show. Coupled with the group of ghostwriters, the number of fans was quite large. If it were any other live broadcast room, even if there was a housekeeper, it would be impossible to ban so many people. It was inevitable that the live broadcast would be messed up. Some new anchors had strength in the early stages but no money or background. When they ran into those famous anchors who used this method to mess with them, they could only admit that they were unlucky and be ridiculed. But this time, these people were destined to kick an iron plate. Chapter 140. Therefore on that day, the technical departments of all the companies under Hua Chenhuan's name received an urgent order. They were to act as external aid for a little-known food streamer on Onlooker Web. They were to investigate and ban the IP addresses of the Water Army. This is too much of a waste of talent. A straightforward technician could not help but mutter softly. Although he spoke softly, there was not even the sound of the keyboard in the room. As soon as he spoke, most of the people in the room heard him. In an instant, the atmosphere in the room became a little awkward. Although the others did not say anything, it was obvious from their expressions that they had the same thoughts as this colleague. They felt that it was too much of a waste of talent to ask them to do such a thing. Yu Zian saw through their thoughts and chuckled. From our boss's point of view, anything related to the lady boss is never a small matter. Do you understand? Like a stone that caused 1,000 ripples, the people who were silently lowering their heads to hide their dissatisfaction were shocked and started whispering to each other. Lady boss. When did the boss get married? I've never heard of it. Our boss has never shown his face in all these years. I'm afraid you don't even know what the boss looks like. How would you know if he's married or not? So, the streamer in this live broadcast room is the lady boss? Oh my god. This is like the flood rushing against the Dragon King's temple. Is this a challenge to the gods? Yu Zian was very satisfied with everyone's reaction. After a while he said, to be precise, she's his fiancée. They're getting married next month. Then she's the future lady boss. Yes. Now, do you have any objections? None. Okay. Yu Zian smiled slightly. The boss has ordered that all the employees who participated tonight will get a raise starting from this month. Also, not only is our lady boss good at cooking, but she also knows how to make medicinal cuisine. If you or your family members suffer from incurable diseases, please watch her live broadcast. Everyone suffers from the 3 tribulations and 6 illnesses. If you're unlucky enough to encounter one day, let me know and I'll help you get it. Consider it an internal employee benefit. As soon as Yu Zian said that, the office erupted in cheers. These people only thought that a raise was something to be happy about, but they did not realize that the internal employee benefits that Yu Zian mentioned at the end were the real benefits. Not long after, this great benefit would even be included in the company's recruitment advertisement, attracting countless elites in the industry to squeeze their heads out in order to join this new small company. After knowing that the person being harassed by the fake reviewers was their future lady boss, the programmer's resentment was finally reduced. They also became more motivated to do things. After all, it was not a free contribution. There was a raise, and for the sake of a raise, he would *CK them up. None of the Water Army and anti-fans can escape. Remember to record their IPs and IDs. Since we're going to seal them, let's seal them thoroughly and clear them out of our melon net. Hearing Yu Xian's words, one of his subordinates tried to remind him, won't this kick out too many viewers and affect the website's traffic?
The reason why most live broadcast websites allowed the Water Army to run rampant and malicious competition between streamers was mainly because whether it was the Water Army or the ripping of the streamers, it was all real traffic and could bring benefits to the website in another way. No matter how much they fought, the website would still be the one benefiting in the end.
Chapter 141. When Yu Xian heard what she said, he did not panic at all. Instead, he replied generously, "Boss will bear all the losses."
As soon as he said that, the hearts of the female colleagues in the office could not help but tremble.
Could this be the legendary raging to the crown for a beauty? Rumor had it that their boss was an unpredictable, cold, and ruthless person. They did not expect him to be someone who doted on his wife. He was rich, affectionate, and so protective. Why did they not realize that their precious boss was like this in the past? Indeed, good men always belong to other people. They were jealous. Yu Xian seemed to have seen through the thoughts of many of the girls in the office. He thought to himself, if you really meet the boss in person, you won't think this way anymore.
Back then, his young master was once a rich and wealthy man whom countless wild bees and butterflies vied for.
However, when they saw that his legs were crippled, those who could not be chased away immediately turned against him. They avoided his young master like he was a snake or a scorpion, afraid that they would accidentally marry such a cripple. Only young madam was willing to accept and protect his young master. Only she could change his young master. Yu Xian had already become Su Yiyan's #1 fan when he saw her teach Xiaofan a lesson. No matter what, he could not let young madam be taken advantage of on his company's platform. Anyone who dared to mess with their young madam would be exterminated.
There was no room for discussion.
At that time, Su Yiyan was still unaware that her medicinal cuisine had been included in the company's welfare benefits by Yu Xian without her permission. There were many internet trolls, Wen Jingping's brainless fans, and many haters who caused trouble. Hua Chenhuan also needed some time to give orders. Although a large number of people had been banned, there were still some who cursed on the bullet screen. Su Yiyan had just turned around to pick up a pot when she saw a big red message from a hater. I thought that your cooking was pretty good and wanted to try it out at the lucky draw one day. Now that I know the truth, I'm really disappointed. Especially the way you guys casually ban people is too much of a bully. From now on, I won't watch your live streams anymore. Su Yiyan was almost amused by this comment. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're an audience or not. If you want to eat, you should see if I'm willing to make it for you. Play with you? Is it because my time is not precious? Or is it because the true fans in the live stream room are not cute? How shameless are you? When that person saw Su Yiyan's words, he was furious and wanted to post another message to complain about Su Yiyan's arrogance. However, he realized that his account had been blocked. As for the fans who believed in Su Yiyan's decision to stay, they couldn't help but agree after hearing Su Yiyan's words. That's right, that's right. If you want to scram, hurry up and scram. If you all scram, then no one will compete with me for the streamer's medicinal cuisine. My chances of winning the lottery will skyrocket. Hee hee hee. You wish, upstairs. I'm still here. If you want it, you should give it to me first. Also, don't be angry, streamer. We all support you. Those brainless people who think that they're upholding justice after being instigated by a few words are not only brainless, they're also blind. There are many things in the streamer's live stream room that can't be found on the market. That female streamer came up and accused someone of plagiarism. She should at least show some evidence. No matter what, she should at least show some things in the streamer's live stream room. There are actually people who believe in empty words. Chapter 142. Honest people don't resort to insinuations. I came here to join in the fun because I read the B*TCH statement. In the end, after watching the host's previous recording, I couldn't leave. How nice. Ha 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 ha, I thought I was the only one who felt this way. Now it seems that the sisters' eyes are still sharp. I clicked on a few of the people who were scolding in the pop-up screen and found that most of them were men. Sigh, as expected, when it comes to identifying B** cheese, men are really at an inherent disadvantage compared to girls. Su Yiyen couldn't help but laugh out loud when she saw this. Wasn't that right? The reason why white lotuses and green tea people were called B** cheese was because they were good at pretending to be innocent and weak. They were good at using their advantages to incite others to stand up for them. They hid their merits and reputation and pretended to be kind and innocent, ignorant of the world. In the eyes of women, these could be seen through at a glance. But in the eyes of men, it could greatly satisfy their desire to protect, making them willing to become a gun in the hands of the other party and charge into battle for them. Of course, in addition to most of the girls who were excellent at identifying B** cheese, there were also some more rational boys who stayed. Lan Jiaye and Yang Jinyu were two of them. Little sisters, don't overturn the whole boat with one pole. There are still little brothers with sharp eyes here. That's right, that's right. Don't be completely disappointed in men just because you're disappointed in some men. There are still many good men in this world. This clarification attracted the attention of all the young ladies. Sisters, look, there are two little cuties who are alone here. Let's tease them together. Coming. Aya, little brother is so cute. Let us give him a kiss, Mua. Lan Jiaye. He's just a child. Let go of the baby. Seeing that the originally foul broadcast room became lively again with the efforts of these little cuties, Su Yiyen couldn't help but smile a little more. She wasn't worried about the commotion caused by Wen Jingping at all. Long before she entered this website and started the live broadcast, she had already expected this day to come. It was still the same sentence. Although she needed the audience's favorability, she wasn't someone who would swallow her anger. Moreover, she had already told her grandfather about some things in advance and asked him to help her solve her future problems. If nothing unexpected happened, these people who were jumping around would soon be slapped in the face. She just needed to do what she should do and what she could do. Back to the topic at hand. Let's continue with today's live stream. There are 4 medicinal cuisines to be prepared today. 3 of them are for patients with kidney disease, and the last one is for patients with premature ovarian failure. As soon as Su Yiyen said this, someone on the screen immediately asked, "Then, can those who didn't draw the nourishing medicinal cuisine drink this follow-up medicinal cuisine?" Of course you can. The effects are actually more or less the same. It's just a change of taste and more choices. Moreover, if one ate too much of the same medicinal herb for too long, one would develop resistance to it. Going too far was as bad as falling short. It's better to rotate depending on the condition of your body. The effect will be better. It would have been better if Su Yiyen did not explain. Now that he did, the screen was filled with complaints. Chapter 143. Then let's make the first soup, poria and pigeon stew. This is what you need to use, poria. Su Yiyen took out a small square plate of small white pieces. Poria has the effect of removing dampness in the orifices, calming the nerves, and nourishing the yang. It has a certain effect on physical weakness, edema, and nephritis. Moreover, it's very simple to make. First, soak the pigeon in water, filter the blood, and then put the pigeon, poria, scallion, ginger, and other seasonings together. First, boil the water, then reduce the heat to a simmer. Su Yiyen took the casserole pot and stewed the soup according to the steps as she spoke. Then she took out another casserole pot and said, "The second soup is matsutake, pigeon egg, and sea cucumber soup." Matsutake and sea cucumber may be relatively rare, but most people should have heard of them. Let's focus on this cordyceps flower. Su Yiyen put the cordyceps flower in the plate close to the camera and said, "This is a kind of fungus, which looks a little different from ordinary fungus. The stewed soup is very fragrant and somewhat chewy. But be careful, after the soup is boiled, most of the nutrients of the cordyceps flower have actually flowed into the soup. Viewers who don't like the taste of the cordyceps flower can choose not to eat the cordyceps flower, but they can't not drink the soup. The same goes for the matsutake. Considering the length of the live broadcast, I have soaked it before, and it's almost soaked now. The water used to soak the matsutake cannot be poured away. Directly use it as the soup base, Otherwise, the freshness of the matsutake will be lost. Su Yiyen said as she poured the matsutake and the boiled and peeled pigeon egg into the pot with the soup. After boiling, she changed the heat to a slow cooker. Then, she quickly boiled the sea cucumber and the cordyceps flower in a pot of boiling water and quickly soaked them. Then, she took them out and set them aside. After doing this, Su Yiyen started to make the third medicinal cuisine, astragalus braised live fish. Ning Chirue had just undergone acupuncture, so he could eat more high-protein foods such as pigeon eggs and fish. Su Yiyen had already prepared the fish in advance. Now, she only carved a cross on both sides of the fish to facilitate the flavor when frying the fish. Then, she sliced the dang shen and the astragalus. Immediately, he set up a wok to fry the fish first. When the fish was golden brown, he took it out. Then, he added oil and brown sugar to stir-fry it until it was red in color. Then, he added the fish in clear broth, slices of Codonopsis, and astragalus slices to stew it until it was tasty. After that, he added some bamboo shoots and shiitake mushrooms and other ingredients appropriately. Then, he took out the wok and poured some hot lard over it. Stir-frying was not like stewing soup. Stewing soup required a bunch of ingredients to be put in, and the ingredients had to be simmered over low heat before the aroma would gradually waft out. Stir-frying, on the other hand, required the ingredients to be placed in a wok. Once the oil boiled, the aroma would immediately waft out. When Su Yiyen was cooking this dish, there were already people who were screaming from the moment she started frying the fish. When the hot oil was poured over the fish, the aroma of the food was even more domineering and filled the entire live broadcast room like a wave, forcing many people to salivate. Isn't it just hua hua? I'll give it to you. I'll give you everything. I'll even give you my life. Please let me have a bite of this fish. Same here. This fish is crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. It looks especially appetizing. It's not like the one I fried myself. That was really burnt. It was pitch black, and it even burned the wok. +1. It seems very easy to watch the host cook, but when I try to do it myself, I hate myself for being so clumsy. It's really too difficult for me. You guys actually have the time to discuss here. I've already tried several mouthfuls. It's so fragrant. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.